the spicy one, Chris here. How are you? Welcome to my brand new series. Yes, I'm building a gaming PC. This will be some journey. It will be a lot of fun and there'll be a lot of information too, because I'll be asking and answering lots and lots of questions in a non-technical way. You don't need to be a hardware geek. All you need is, like me, a passion for gaming. Straight up, I'm asking the obvious question. It's the fundamental question. Should you go to the trouble of building your own gaming PC? After all, there are plenty of options available. You only need to search for a few minutes online or visit your local bricks and mortar store. There are just so many gaming PCs around. Why would you go to the trouble of building your own? It's that age-old debate. Build your own PC versus a ready-made PC. Who'll be the winner of this battle? It's not like that at all. In fact, straight up, I'm going to give you the TLDR. Let's look at the fundamental issue at play here. It's all about money. It's as simple as that. In fact, for some of you, very shortly you'll be able to switch off this video because I'll have answered that question for you of whether to build or purchase pre-made. Step 1. Go online, survey the options. Have a look at the lowest as well as the really high level gaming PCs. Step 2. You now have a rough idea of price. Where do you think you are in the spectrum? Is your budget around about that lowest level of pre-made PCs? Or are you wow up there at the very top of those gaming PCs that scream 4K and or even 8K goodness? If you're in that middle ground, like most of us, then the news for you is you're going to have to stick around this video a bit longer. But if you're at the extremes, very shortly, I've got the answer for you. For those of you at the very top of the budget spectrum, definitely build your own PC. Simple as that. You can stick around this video, I'll explain why. Now, if you're at the lowest level, definitely buy pre-made. Definitely. And again, stick around if you want me to explain why. For those of us in that middle ground budget-wise, we need to do more than just have a rough look at the upper and lower price ranges of the available gaming PCs. We also need to consider things such as the graphic capability of your new PC system. We need to have a look at the pre-made PCs and what graphic abilities they are offering. It will be somewhere in the vicinity of 4K at 144 Hertz plus down to 1080p at 60 frames per second. Which games do you need to play at what settings? As well, think about games that have been announced and will realistically release in the next few years as well, because you want your PC to last a little while, don't you? And what specifications do you think will be required for those upcoming games? Yes, I'm still talking about pre-built PCs and looking at pre-built PCs, and there's a very good reason why. We've begun this video talking about money, and money is the central thing with this whole question of pre-built versus make your own PC. Now, for those of you on a tiny budget, I did promise to explain why I'm pushing you to buy a pre-built PC. It is a really, really easy thing to answer, and that is that the companies which make the gaming PCs, they have economies of scale. You do not. They will always beat you for component prices. You are forced to buy your components one by one. Yes, it might be from the same shop, but it's one by one. And those shops have to make a profit. They're allowed to charge delivery charges, whatever. Contrast that with a specialist gaming PC that has been manufactured, parts have been ordered in the thousands. In fact, oftentimes the orders are so large from these companies that the components are individually engineered to their exact specifications. A few tweaks here and there, a slightly lower voltage, whatever, compared with that same component you're trying to purchase. Because they order in bulk, they get massive discounts. You cannot compete. So they combine it all together into a neat package. You will never, ever be able to approach that price with the same components. For those of you at the top end budget-wise, you don't need to worry so much about the economies of scale and getting priced out by the assemblers or manufacturers of those gaming PCs. In fact, when you look at the ready-made top-tier gaming PCs, you'll notice that they never quite get there. There's always 1, 2 or 3 components that are a little bit lacking here and there, and there's a reason for that. Imagine if they were to get that luxury case and load it with the best of everything. Imagine the price. Do you think they'll make many sales? Of course they won't, because there are whales, sure, out there, but there aren't that many whales. They need to make it worth their while. They need to get the number of sales. Okay, now that is why they'll be lacking in a few components here and there, because they make a decision that, well, okay, it doesn't matter if we compromise so much on memory, just so long as it's got that big name graphic card there that will help with the sales. Fantastic. But as a geeky gamer, you want to build your own PC. You don't want to take those compromises. You want, for example, the best RGB experience maybe. And it might be a little lacking in that top-end gaming PC you saw. For this reason, you must purchase all the components individually. Yes, from various online stores, and yes, overall, you are going to be paying more than for a pre-built similar PC, but you're going to have that added performance, added quality on top of that. I did promise I'll throw those TLDRs out there so you can switch off the video as soon as possible, especially if you're at the top or bottom of the range. But I do recommend you stick around, because I've got some other useful information that's relevant to everybody. Now, for those of you who are in the middle budget-wise, and I suggested that you go back and have a much closer look at the available pre-built options. What did you see? Did you see a PC that's pretty close to what you want? Go and buy it. It's as simple as that. Go and buy it, because as I've laboured the point before, you won't be able to compete on price by building your own. Now, what if though it's got something missing? Like it's the PC that you want, but for example, Wi-Fi is missing. Well, go and buy a cheap Wi-Fi card to go with it. Or what if the memory is slightly lacking? Now that's an issue. It could be a whole separate video, but let's try and dispense with it quickly. Have a word with the retailer. What memory options do they have available, and can they load all the memory onto one card? That's right, you ask them, can that, say, 16 gigabytes, instead of being two 8 gigabyte cards, it's just the single 16 gigabyte card. All right. Why? Because you can then go and separately purchase another 16 gigabytes to add with it, assuming you want 32 gigabytes of memory. There is a catch, a gotcha there. If you do go down that path, you have to make sure that that extra memory that you're purchasing is able to match with the existing memory. And I'd suggest that you Google all about memory matching. It's a whole nother rabbit hole. Something else that might be missing is Bluetooth. That's easily added on. Also, the RGB experience might be a little lacking. Again, that's easily added on. Maybe the fans are visible at one end because of the positioning in your room and they're not lit up with RGB lights. Well, fans are easy to replace. Don't you worry about that. And that pre-built PC that you saw maybe is lacking in storage. The storage is not enough or the wrong type of storage, whatever. What I would strongly suggest is that you have a word with the supplier. Try to purchase it with 0 storage. You can then add in your own storage, maybe from an existing PC, your old PC, bring it over to the new PC. That will keep you going a while. Just make sure though that if you do BYO storage, that whatever storage you insert into the PC, that it is a bootable drive, okay, with Windows already installed. Yeah. So I'm really pushing you to have a look at and even purchase a pre-made PC, and you're wondering why. Just think, this channel is not all about gaming PCs and building gaming PCs. I don't have a wheelbarrow to push. All I'm doing is giving you honest, simple advice, hopefully in a non-technical way, and based upon a lot of experience of purchasing pre-built PCs and building my own PCs. I've had a soldering iron on motherboards since 1979, so I have a little bit of experience with buying pre-made and building my own PCs. Having said that, my channel is for gaming geeks like you and me. Hey, why not like, subscribe, and once you've subscribed, that notification bell's a big help too, because you don't want to miss any of my videos for sure. Oh, and please, social media, all those links from social media, wow, they'll do wonders for my channel. If you're still with me in this video, that means you're maybe, probably going to build your own PC, or at least you've certainly got an open mind. I have a ton more information and advice coming up in the second part of this video. I hope you will watch that, and hey, please drop a comment below my videos too. I'll always read those comments. But until next time, this is Spicy Chris signing off for now.